ああ。ああ。はい。これマックスの方がいいのか。やるか。ニューゲームで、これをハードにしろって言われたからする。ごめんなさい。
You, sir?
Don't believe so. I haven't been here in many years. Name's Silas Greaves.
Silas Greaves? The bounty hunter?
Used to be.
What are you doing here in Abilene?
Just passing through. Got a little business to take care of.
Well, sir, it would be an honor if you would allow me to buy you a beer.
Hell, son, it would be my honor to drink it.
I'm Molly. Howdy.
I'm Dwight. That's Jack and Steve. Ben's behind the bar. Oh, I bet you got some great stories.
A couple.
Any of them true?
Jack, be nice.
A few.
What about your shootout with Henry Plummer's gang in Bannock, Montana? Is that where you started as a bounty hunter? That's what it says in this here dime novel.
ああ、そうだよ。忘れてた。ちょっとごめんなさい。動かなくなるわ。はいはい。裏画面行っててもこれちゃんと動いてほしいんだけどな。
Dangerous as hell.
Oh, やべ。
It was about 30 years ago. Billy was hiding out in an abandoned farm near Stinking Springs.
こんな感度高かったか。あ、違
I threw
う。
in
こ
with
れ
the
こうだ。
kid because the man I had sworn vengeance on was riding with Billy's enemies. But before I
DPI が
tell you
高くしてた
why
だ
I
けだった。
want that son of a bitch dead, let me tell you what happened that day. I was heading back to the hideout when suddenly I had this funny feeling.
Funny, haha.
No, Steve. The other kind of funny.
もう溜まってる。アイアンサイトでスローダウン。狙いを定めたとき十分な時間取れるように。夜またスローダウンがほんの一瞬だけ現れ完璧に狙いさ。あ、これいいじゃん。これも欲しいんだよな。二丁拳銃もあんまりいらんし。
I knew those two morons would never let me through. I had no choice.
What the hell? Shoot that sumbitch!
よし。かっこいいね。
Was it Pat Garrett's posse?
Oh yeah. I heard the
Tama kure
shots
tama.
and I knew I had to move fast. Garrett and his army of deputies had surrounded the entire homestead. I decided to help Billy and the boys out of it. So that's just what I did.
絶対届かんねあ、届いた。
The governor of New Mexico was paying for the kid's apprehension. Garrett was able to hire every gun hand in Lincoln
あれ死んでね。なんかしゃってないこの中で。君たち生きてない。あ、いって。いいね、リロードがかっけえ。今アンノーンキーでかびっくりした。どこから行けばいいんだ。こっちか。左からすっげえ声聞こえんだよな。はい。これ撃ってる時全くもってキャラクターの声聞こえないんだけど、あ、声は聞こえるんだけど読めねえ。
Oh, you do, do you?
レンジャー。
Indeed, darling. But where was I?
こっちっぽいなけど、S いってえな。
A lot of them were saddle tramps, sod busters, or drunken drifters looking to make a few bucks.
はい。あとどっかにいるだろう。これも違うか。これもまたあれか。幻聴。はいだ。はい。なんもないか。
Then I heard a friendly voice yelling at me from the window. Back door! We'll cover you! We got you covered! Truth be told, things weren't much better behind. I cut their numbers in half, but that just made the ones that were left quite mad. They made up for their lack of skill with a seemingly endless supply of ammo.
これを取って。どこビリーザキット。
It
あ、
was
こ
a
んな
bit
か
of a slog, but I finally fought my way around the back of the house. And like that, I was inside, none the worse for wear. I passed dirty
あ、味
days,
方だ。
and upstairs I found Billy and Charlie Bowdry.
よし。行くか。めっちゃ喋ってんだけど。かっけえビリーザキット。
Billy looked at me and said, "About time, amigo. Grab a gun and get to the window."
Wait, so you were friends with Billy the Kid?
Yeah, sort of. Anyway, we were surrounded by dozens of deputized shooters who wanted to do us harm.
ああ。当たらん。
Telling you Garrett's men were dropping like flies, but they just kept
はいはい、
on
リロード。いいね、リロードもかっこいいけど、下からじゃないんだ。え、今横から、え、なん。
That's when Charlie got hit. They're catching us in a crossfire, shouted Billy. Get to the other side.
はいはいはいはい。あ、くそ。あの急カーブマジで強すぎんだろ。抜けなかった。貫通しなかった。
I don't know how many of those cocksuckers suckers I personally put down, but it was pretty clear, even to Billy, that maybe discretion is the better part of valor.
What's that mean?
It means that it was time to
弾が
cut
もっ
and
たいない。
run. They got a Gatling, Billy shouted. Get the horses and bring them round
あ
back.
あ、
I'll
出
draw
なきゃ
their
いけない。
attention. He directed that order at me, and I thought, why the hell do I have to do it?
Those poor sons of bitches are done.
いいね、気持ちいい。
But I had that false sense of invincibility that many young men have. Like
あれ
Jack here.
What are you saying, old man?
痛い痛い痛い痛い痛い。
Yeah, he better be.
Mr. Graves, please continue.
痛い痛い痛い痛い。
Please call me silent. Now, where was I?
You were heading for the barn.
もういけねえよ。命令 F だっけ？あ、F か。ほいほいほいほいほい。U ボタンとか一切使わねえからわかんねえ。十字軍。弾丸でも平均して4発に普通は弾き返せる。アキンボ。息を殺して正確に合わせることはさらにスムーズできる。これでいいな。よいしょよいしょ。いててててててて。
Sounds like Garrett hired a whole regiment of hired guns.
あれ。
Yeah. And just when I
Tamakure
thought
tama.
I was done with them, more of these hapless bastards would pop up.
結構これなんか狙い定まる前に撃っちゃうとブレるんだな。
Finally, I had the stables within my reach.
やっぱ下から入れてるよ。
And that's when I met Sheriff Pat Garrett.
I read that
Okay,
you went
下から入れんのもあんのかな？
toe-to-toe with him, sir. That backstabbing bastard with that tacked-on tin star.
保安官バッジつけて。偉大ハンサム不器用パッド・ギャレット。
You challenged him to a showdown.
You read that in a dime novel?
It said he showed no fear as he took your measure with eyes like a rattlesnake.
Ah, そっちに動かないで。銃で抜き狙いを定め再び。おい。
And that you killed him in a fair fight.
Is that what that Penny Dreadful said? No, boy. That ain't what I meant when I said I met Pat Garrett. So let me start again.
ああ、
Finally
戻って
reach
きた。
those damn stables.
ほら。
After the
10
fight,
点もらえ
maybe
る。
we could treat ourselves to some fried chicken.
ちゃんとチキンつってた。
And
いって。
last thing I heard was Garrett's voice. That's not Billy.
And go on. How did it end?
And, boy, that was just
Oh,
the
what the-
beginning.
ヘッドショットバレットギャレット目がある勝利。一個ねいいけどいいや。
So what happened? Did Garrett arrest you?
Yeah, after I came to, the bastard had clocked me with his Colt.
ビリー・ザ・キッド。
And the kid surrendered? When he realized there was no getting out of there alive.
So they locked you up in Lincoln?
Indeed they did. Sentenced me to hang right along with the kid.
スティンキングスプリングの一件でビリー・ザ・キッドとサイラス、あ、早い。本当の男が決着の時に撃つ。はい、チキンを撃つ。じゃあチキンが鳥がいる時は決着っぽいのかな。
He was with John Kinney's gang, and they were sworn enemies of Billy's regulators.
なんでこれ3がないんだ。
I owed that son of a bitch a bullet for what he had done to me and mine. Instead, all I got for myself was a goddamn death
乗れ
sentence.
ねえ。あ、乗れだ。
Luckily, it was right around then that I heard Billy make his move. He shot Jim Bell and a few other guards as he made his getaway. Later, they wrote that some lady friend planted a pistol for him in the privy. What the papers didn't say is that Billy helped me escape too. My first order of business.
鍵穴なくね。中から鍵開けられること開けちゃダメじゃね。
Luckily, I located Deputy Bob Ollinger's mean-ass shotgun.
ショッカー。ホイットニー製10番系うるさい。血を吹き飛ばす。ボブ・オリンジャーのショットな。かっけー。
I saw Billy through the window.
ビリーが叫んでいるのが見えた。リハネに去って脱出するってね。
So I did.
うわ、かっけー。お邪魔だボケ。
Hell yeah. That scatter gun was like a double-barreled
ほい。
howitzer. It could blow a man clear off his feet.
ほい。
You hardly had to aim the damn thing. Guards were everywhere looking for it.
はい。
Let the kid get away.
Anybody see him?
I had to jump from roof to roof like a damn alley cat. I followed the planks where I
Oi.
could. Some of that wood was slippery as hell. The whole town was up in arms.
何が起こってあんな面突然出てくるの。
I was a fugitive.
ストーリー仕立てだからか。
So that bastard you were after, what did he do?
He did me and my family a grievous harm.
血が傷を
I
与え
knew
た。
if I was ever going to find him, I would need to get my ever-loving ass out of there.
You!
I tried to be stealthy.
わあ、いるいる。
Hell, if they weren't all waiting.
いたいたい
Apparently,
た。
some of them thought I was Billy.
なんかないの。なんか収集物痛い。あるって。やった。これ後でちょっと撮るか見るか。
See, me and the kid shared a certain similarity in build and coloring.
ちょない
I
の。
was just glad I had Deputy Bob's mean-ass shotgun.
ただ持ってきただけかこれ。結構なんかそんで近くに収集物あるよっていうかもう範囲狭くね。ふーって。
There's children here.
So much lead was whizzing by my head, it was like everyone in Lincoln wanted to put me in the ground. I knew I needed to find a horse. Though I never did have a great fondness for four-legged grass eaters.
はい。
Smelly, sweaty, ungrateful beasts. We prize them too high, if you ask me.
おでんおでんおでん。 はい長弾してたよ。おっとどこ？こっちにないん？え？あ、そこかあ、やった。リロード速度アップ。いいね。装飾入りのシューター。美しい外見とは裏腹に精密に作られた傑作であり、シンプルなトリガー構造とロングバレルによってより速い発射レートを可能にし、より扱いやすくなった。うわぁ何のタクティカルアドバンテージもなさそうな見た目になった。
But where was the kid while you were busy getting shot at?
Gone.
あ、いい
And
ね。
that's when it occurred to me
ライ
why
フルになった。
Billy set me free.
はいはいはいはい
So I could
す
be a
ごいね
hapless decoy
簡
and
単
draw
に許してくれ
attention
た。
while he snuck out of town.
はい連打きつくないか俺。 R リロード慣れてねえからマジできついんだけど。
One piece. No one would put a price on my head.
自転なんかあるだろ。あぶぶ
Lincoln would be dead.
No. Because they all thought I was
う
Billy.
わ、なんもね
And all that blame would fall on him.
え。ほい。
Meanwhile, Deputy Bob Ollinger was organizing a posse to put me down. He was already a mean son of a bitch, but he was doubly pissed that I stole his mean-ass shotgun. Anyway, it was me or them.
バロラント割りのしゃがみ入れちゃう。痛い痛い痛い痛い痛い。
But the cards were dealt, and I had no choice but to play them.
距離長すぎて一発じゃ死なんのだが。ハイライトされないとわかんねえわ。くそあんもういい。もうそんなことすんだったらこうやぞ。足出せよほら。あ、全部できんだ。いいね。弾がね。なんもないんですけど、なんかこんななんかありそうな感じするのに。ああ、いた。これサイトの真ん中から出てるこれ弾。いやで痛い。こっちしかねえ。ライフルしかねえ。ウィンチェスターしか。サイの。なんかありそうな。なんかないの？こんないろんな道あるけど。いないよな。
Finally, I found what I was looking for. The stables on the edge of town.
あ、こっち
I guess Billy saved your ass, taking out Bob Ollinger the way he did.
Billy didn't kill Bob.
Sure he did. Dispatched him right after he shot Deputy Bell.
No, sir. Because Bob came right up behind me, angry as hell that Billy had lit out. Hello, Bob, I said. I think you better let me go. And he
腹出て
says,
る
I don't think so, boy. Not with my shotgun.
やべ
We
捨てち
stood
った
there
そ
in
の
the
ショット
middle
が
of the street, eyeball to eyeball. He intended to kill me, and I knew I had no choice but to defend myself. I
おい
killed him in a fair fight. Everybody saw I had no damn
ハゲ
choice.
の上に風穴開けてやったぜ
Well, Lincoln got a mite depopulated that day. Pat Garrett gunned down Billy 3 months later, so his escape was all for naught anyway.
So where'd you go after Lincoln?
Mexico. Until I realized nobody was looking for me. I ended up taking a job at the Rurales.
The Mexican Rurales?
I was hired to help them track down the cowboys.
カウボーイズ
The most vicious outlaw gang in Cochise County? Curly Bill Brocious? Johnny Ringo?
Led by old man Clanton himself.
They must have paid you a pretty penny to take them hombres on.
Not really. But truth be told, I had my own reasons for going after those boys.
そのカウボーイたちはオールドマン・クラントンの一名アートローだった。カーリー・ビルとジョン・リー・リンゴの二人はクラントンの両腕だった。
So was the bastard you were after now riding with the cowboys?
Roscoe Bob Bryant was his name.
Oh.
But no, this time it was a different bastard I was
ク
after.
ソ熱そう
The aforementioned Mr. Ringo.
カゲロ
Yes,
ウ
he
みたいになっ
was
てる
working for old man Clown. I came upon them robbing a stagecoach, which wasn't surprising, being they were such murderous thieves and bastards. The bandits wore red
このドアは
scarves,
赤いサ
so
ブを
I
つけてい
knew
た
they
からあれ
were.
はオールドマンの手下ってことがすぐに分かっ
Over there! There!
た。うわみんな急に振り向くじゃん
Best to help those poor bastards. Moments later, the attackers were dead, and I checked the stagecoach to see how many passengers were still breathing. None. It was then I wondered if the rocks weren't hiding more bandits. Was that all of them? Or did I just hit the rear guard? I quickly got my answer. They attacked from on high like Apaches often did.
あ全然敵に集中しすぎて見てなかった
Numbers from above and rained down lead on their hapless enemies'
見
heads.
てあちょっと待って狙おうとして全然撃てねえと思ったらあ視界内に敵いないと勝手に切れんだはいはいはいおおまだ出てきた
Hearing great numbers from above and rained down lead on their hapless enemies' heads. Making use of the high ground and whatever else they had. Yep, the Apaches always appeared out of nowhere, and there never seemed to be an end
ああ
to
また増えてきてうわいっぱいいる
Were you attacked by Apaches? What happened to the cowboys?
it. Did I
That's
say
it.
they were Apaches? I said Clanton's
クラントン
cowboys
のカウボーイた
attacked
ちはア
me
パッチみたいに攻撃
Apache
した
style. I was in a pitched battle, but I was holding my own against an overwhelming enemy force. See, at the time, I was still pretty green, but often blunder into regrettable situations. But I just kept shooting at anything I could see up in those damn rocks.
切り抜けろ
I didn't see
い
Ringo.
って
I knew he was with the cowboys. He and Roscoe Bob had done me a dreadful wrong, and I was determined to have my revenge.
もっとまともな隠れる場所ないんす
I
か
knew I'd have to find my way past these other assholes first. Unfortunately, I was running out of ammo. Another perfect example of my relative inexperience as a hunter of men.
耳嘘が許しない。ここ強くない？
I immediately knew that a tactical retreat was called for, as my vengeful fury was much less impressive without the bullets to back it up.
あ、行けっつってんだろ。ああ、ちょっと。
Trapped as I was, the odds of my survival seemed pretty slim.
すぎすぎすぎすぎ。
Serendipity was on my side as I suddenly spotted a way out of my predicament.
やばすぎんだろあいつら。
I ran ahead as if the devil himself was after me. Bullets were whizzing by my ears, but I was not to roll over and die. I just kept running like there was no tomorrow. Because there wouldn't be if Clanton and his men caught up with me.
ああ、やべやべ。
As I was scurrying around those caves, I thought, what was I thinking? Going up against a gang like this.
想像以上に痛い。ちょっとこれシフトをしながらのこれやめてほしいよマジで。痛い痛い痛い痛い痛い。
Where the hell I was going. And that's when something miraculous happened. Like manna from heaven, I found the desiccated remains of what looked like an Apache bullet. The old weapon next to him supplied me with some much-needed ammunition. Bat Masterson once told me it was more important to be lucky than good.
ちゃんとやらなきゃいけない。お。
And imagine my surprise when I found a fistful of dynamite to go along with that ammo. That stroke of good fortune evened the odds and bolstered my confidence.
弾がね。
It was time to turn the table.
許さんおめえら。
Time for the prey to become the predator. Time for the hunted to become the hunter. Time. All right.
よくもやって言ってっつってんだろう。よくもやってくれなかったのてめえら。
I was done running. The old man's boys were not expecting that. No, sir. I came at them like a wild cat. My fury knew no bounds.
一発。ああ、いる。どう取ればいいな。
Finally time for that old man to pay for his sins.
また後で来んのかこれ。ああ、来ないやんけ。うわオールドマンクラント。
I yelled out at the top of my lungs, Clanton, I'm coming for you! A little stealth might have made more sense, to be perfectly honest. Because that old fool had a Gatling gun and enough bullets to last him till kingdom come.
痛い。
But I knew I could not let that deter
危
me.
ね
Not if I was to find and
次ど
kill
こだ。
Ringo.
あ、
I
痛
needed
い
to get that old man off that
次
gun.
ここだな。いや、撃ちすぎでしょあいつ。次どこだ。地下こっちだな。ああ、いてててて。 けあそこ。いやあれこれ切り替えにしちゃったのが押し込みにしちゃったのがやべえ。しゃがみをああサボテン。撃ってこいよほら。なあいるじゃねえか。
Most everyone thought it was the Ruales who had come up against him in Guadalupe Canyon, but it was just me.
何ブレネード撃ち落とされてるこれ。いいダメージだ。当たんないんだけどあいつだけ無敵チート使ってんだけど。どこ行くしかねえのかこれ。ああ向いてる。食らわないんだけどこいつ強え。ってよ当たらん。よし手間取らせやがって。
And told Ike and Billy Clanton that it wasn't a Mexican who took their father's life that day. They just assumed it was one of the Earps. And that little misunderstanding eventually led to that legendary gunfight at the OK Corral.
OK 牧場。くっそ痛かったマジで。サイレスがカウボーイを狙う本当の理由は金じゃなかった。彼の最大の敵は一人、ジョーニー・リンゴ。
A few weeks after that dust up at the OK Corral, I was still
あ、
after
そうだ、
Johnny
レベルアッ
Ringo.
プしたから。綺麗な花火打ち上げてダメージを与えてみよう。ダイナモードに投げた後、一応それを簡単に。ショットができるように木を長押しすることで早打ちも使い果たしている山代わりに付近の敵を完璧なヘッドショットを行うことができる。
I had tracked him and the cowboys to their hideout at a sawmill. They were loaded for bear.
So, what exactly did Johnny Ringo do to
ジョ
piss
ニー・
you
リンゴ
off?
があんたにとって
Well,
の
him and that other bastard.
あ、やつとやつだね。ノスコ・ボブ・ブライアンズ。
They both deserve to die, and I promise I'll tell you why. Earp's coming! Get them ready, boys.
崩れそう。
First, I need to tell you about the cowboys' new boss, Curly Bill Brocious.
Damn, he's hard to hit.
Curly Bill took charge of the cowboys
ちゃん
upon
と
the
イアンサイト狙わないとダメなの
After that gunfight at the OK Corral, the Clantons wanted revenge.
で
So they murdered Morgan Earp and grievously wounded his older brother, Virgil.
ほい
Wyatt and Doc went on what
こんぐら
became
いの距
known
離だったら
as
こ
the
れの方がいい
Vendetta Ride, hunting those outlaws down.
あれ
When I showed up,
あれ
that's who they thought I was.
すごいなんか雨の描写むちゃくちゃなんだけど体に濡れてる神秘のベールマークかぶってるみたいなでどここっちか
There were killers around every corner, all wearing red bandanas.
スナイパーみたいなのいる
That's how the cowboys identified each other. And I was beginning to wish I had one myself.
ダイナマイトもう人
I
牽制
wasn't
グレネ
about
ー
to
ドだっ
let
た
Ringo walk away unscathed. And that's what drove me forward.
They say that Ringo was
Yeah.
burning fast.
I hardly saw
当時の
anyone
画面入れ
faster,
が何も
boy.
見えん
Certainly not Wyatt Earp. That man was all hat and no cap.
ショットガンはいいかな
Earp wasn't much of a match for him, but Doc Holliday might have taken him.
That Lunger should have kept his nose out of it. They never charged anyone for the murder of Morgan Earp.
Everybody knew that
Yeah,
Curly
reload,
shot him in
reload.
the back. That was common knowledge.
Yeah, maybe so. But Ringo had nothing to do with it. He was just being loyal to a
めっ
friend.
ちゃリロードしなきゃいけないのにね
Is that what you call it? Being loyal.
すぐ弾切れる感じが
Well, to get to
西
that
部
loyal
劇っぽい
friend, I had to pass by some buzzsaws as big as a man.
30連マガジンとか全く持ってないからなこのマガジン時代でもいいしな後ろにいるいやいやいやさもうこのさ声むちゃくちゃなんだやめてほしいんだけど方向がなんか分かんなくなるのやめてほしいやばいやばい
Excuse me, sir. I have a question.
What's that, Dwight?
After
yeah, we
old
couldn't
man
like-
Clinton died, why didn't
Ne.
his son take over the Cowboys?
Because Ike Clanton was dumber than a box of rocks and a yellow belly to boot.
きつないこっちか
Now, where was I?
Taking down the entire cowboy
カウ
gang
ボーイギャンが仕留めた
single-handed.
ってところもある
Indeed, I was, Jack. Though it wasn't easy, as those boys had good cover.
手ってあの距離当たらんあーなんか当たんないんだけどはいだ世の中ライフルですよ言ってマジでライフルつれえ ぶねえ死ぬ前のあれが出てよかったわマジで。超持ちなんかある。え、これ声がするのにアイテムある？取ってみようか。視界に入らない点に感じる早打ちモードに画面端にマークが見える。も見てみるか。黒がかっこいい。ティンボ。結構なんかすぐレベルアップするから意外と気軽にスキル振れる。シールドは顔出しちゃいかんでしょ。どう？あ、これか。うわ、リボルじゃあスナイパーいて。ああ、そういうことができたんだ。怖いんだけど。で思ったら痛くなかった。
And where was Curly Bill? Did you see him?
I'm about to get to that, Ben. Patience. I'm painting a picture here. There was this beautiful waterfall and a crystal clear stream that led to a verdant valley that was truly...
Consider your picture painted. What happened next?
Well, finally the bastards that were still alive made a last stand.
これは放送を見返したり後でもう一回自分でやらない限りストーリーを覚えてらんねえわ。ゲームで精一杯すぎる。あ、そっちか。わ、資材置き場みたいな。もう絶対ボスやんけ。
Bill, Johnny Ringo, and his compadres took off into the lumber yard, and I followed after.
やられる前にやる。かっこいい。カリビ。
Are you saying they ran? Cowardice was not in Ringo nor Curly Bill's nature.
No, sir. I never said they were running scared. They just wanted me out in the open.
全然頭打ってるけど死なないんですけどあいつ。まああれやぞ、警察24時のシューティングゲーだったら死やぞ。ね、いる。痛いって普通に。普通に背中背後取られるの怖すぎる。どこだカーリー、どこ？カーリー一発しか受け付けないんだけど、ダメージ無敵あるんだけど撃たれると。 おめえは誰だ。ああ、狩りずるい狩りずるい。あ、手になった。普通に狩り詰めてくんの怖すぎる。あっぶね。
Brocious gave me no choice but to take his life, but Ringo was nowhere to be found.
I knew you didn't kill Ringo, because he was found dead in a different location altogether.
To this day, his killer is still unknown.
Indeed. Took me a few months before I finally tracked his ass to West Turkey Creek Canyon.
統率と弾丸の後継者ジョニー・リング。カーリービル死後の7ヶ
It's
月。
incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
めっちゃ動く。相打ちかーい。あ、腰ダメ当てにならんのにあんなあれでもダメなんすか。許してくださいよ。
Sir, I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
ああ。はい。
Sorry I had to ruin the legend for you, boy. But the legend ain't always true. Doc Holliday had nothing to do with the death of Johnny Ringo. Made. That's why I went after Henry Plummer.
Now, wasn't he the sheriff who augmented his income by shaking down miners and robbing gold shipments?
That's the one.
Oh, yeah, I remember him. He ran that gang of thieving outlaws called the
イノセント
Innocents.
とかいう。
So it's true that you went toe-to-toe with him?
Indeed I did, son. Indeed I did.
すっげえスムーズに話進むからもうなんかどんなキャラのあれが入ってないんだけど全く主人公が誰なのかすら今は若干もう覚えらんないね。
I knew I needed resources if I was going to track down Roscoe Bob Bryant, and hunting Plummer looked like a good way to get rich quick. As the local vigilantes exposed him as the leader of the bandits,
あ、
and
こっ
put
ち
a
でもいける
generous
しあっちでもいける
price
よみ
on
たい
his
な。
head.
じゃあこっちでいいや。
Plummer rallied his gang to plunder one last gold mine before making their escape, and that's where I thought I'd find him.
It makes me nervous standing so close to all these goddamn
こっ
barrels.
から聞こえるんだよね明らかに。
No one has the cojones to come after us. As long as you don't light up a cigar, we're fine. Besides, George is up there on the rocks with that rifle of his. Nothing gets. Oh yeah.
My late father pointed out to me more than once. God made men, but Samuel Colt made them equal.
あんなに歌んとダメか。なんか
I I knew that dynamite wasn't mine, so I decided the polite thing would be to return it. It was the biggest gold rush since Sutter's Mill in '48. Unfortunately, prospectors weren't the only ones.
結構なんか遠距離が続くなこれ。
There were thieves, killers, robbing travelers, and hijacking gold shipments. Like those that ran with Plummer. Some were just regular folks I knew from town, drawn by greed and easy pickings. Charlie Crow was blacksmith.
こんなクソ強い胴体一発ってやばすぎでしょ。クソ強え。キャパアップ、コンボ倍率アップ、レベルずつアップしていく。次これだな。コンボ時間延長とかにした方がいいな。
James, who worked in the stable.
あ、
Sam and
これでいっ
Jeremiah
か。
Barber, the butcher's son. Ordinary citizens who lived a double life. Plummer had a lot of men on his payroll. A hell of a lot. That son of a bitch pretended to protect the public with one hand while stealing them blind with the other.
コンボ伸ばしていけどコンボできるぐらいのあれがないんだよ。
Stone cold killers trained on the bloody fields of Shiloh and Antietam. He set up a defensive perimeter which I had no idea how to breach. Dangerous, desperate individual. I was outnumbered and in way over my head, but I was too damn stubborn and stupid to realize it.
楽しかないか。
I thought I was some kind of hero.
下で戦ってる音する。近いな。いるな。
I finally made it past and headed on to meet my destiny.
女がなんかあるやろ。なんもない。何やってんのお前よ。なんもないか。なんかありそうなんだけどな。
But first, I had something I needed to figure out.
ただ敵の足場なのかこれ。すごい作り込んでる。
I had a few ideas on how to get into that mine, but once I made my decision, I knew there was no turning back. So my first thought was to enter the nearest mine portal.
理にか
I
な
saw
って
an
いる。
entrance. Made sense. It was the quickest way in, but that also made it more dangerous, as there would undoubtedly be enemy pickets posted along the way.
出てこいよ。
Put that moron out of his misery.
てえ。これショットガンありかもな。ショットガン弱っ。思ってたんとちげえし、ショットガンの強さが。
Besides, once you enter a mine like that, it's easy to get all turned around. And that confusing maze of corridors wouldn't even be the worst of it.
おい。
Some of those shafts could be as deep as hell. Single stumble or misstep could easily end in a deadly plunge to oblivion.
怖っ。こんなところ取らすなよ。さっき敵ね。道じゃねえしこっち。下ね。 っちか。
I do not deserve to die like this.
こっちもなんかあんのか。なんかいろんな道から行けるよみたいな感じかこれ。
Quick reflexes often make up for a lack of common sense. Luckily, I was never one to be easily
あっぶね
bushwhacked.
え。
I would just need to be careful not to blow myself to kingdom come.
トロッコ問題過去物理。どこだ。し下
With all that gunpowder and
明らかに
dynamite
下じゃないなこ
everywhere,
れ。
a body has to know what he's shooting at.
痛い。あ、意外と帰れる。どこ？下か？下の反応してる？あ、違う。ててててて。
All it takes is one tiny spark, and boom.
ダメじゃん。こんなところで総豆腐なんて。結構範囲むちゃくちゃだなこれ。ショットガンなんて撃ったら死ぬぜこんなところ。
One wrong bullet could have turned that mine into a dad-blasted tube.
ひえそういう感じ。
Freely admit that my plan of attack was not just moronic.
逃げろー。
Insane.
かっこいい。あの一瞬で撃てんの。ああ、ちょっともうふざけんな
It's
っ
a
て。
good thing that I abandoned that ridiculous plan before I even tried it. Instead, I spotted a ladder way into the mine from the opposite side. It was a long way around, but that approach seemed more sensible at
あ、
the
行けなく
time.
なってる。
Of course, being I had a problem with heights, that scaffolding scared the bejesus out of me.
怖え。この木が風とかできしんでる音って怖くね？ どれかこれ。
Because even though I had a younger man's reflexes,
金棒。
no man can dodge a damn bullet while climbing down a rickety ladder.
多分無駄打ちしそうなんだよな、金棒。
I needed to make a leap of faith, which ain't easy when you're suspended between heaven and hell.
あ
I was determined not to give up, however. As Sheriff Plummer seemed quite the despicable character. When the vigilantes discovered what the sheriff was up to, people were outraged. That 10,000 they put on his head would go a long way to helping me find the
今思ったけど弾丸避けるってすげえな。
And I have made it my mission to settle that score come hell or high water.
はい。 沈没するかじゃあ。
But first, I would have to make a choice. Take the elevator or climb the ladder.
おっと上か。ちっぽいな。ちょああもう。
I wanted to use the element of surprise. Plus, I figured I could use the exercise. I was warmed up already, so what the hell?
真実のかけらみたいな船。
Plummer was a mad dog killer, and the people of
痛い痛い
Nevada
痛い痛い
City
痛い痛い。
deserved better.
Nevada City. Well, I thought Plummer met his
す
maker
げえ
in
精度いい
Bannock,
な。
Montana.
ないんだけど
Well,
こんなところで
he was the sheriff of
ダイナマイト
one
なんて
place
使うんじゃねえ
one
よ。
time or another, but that's neither here nor there.
もういやわかんない真実のかけら。
The point was, taking him down would save a lot of lives, including my
はい
own.
はい。パッと見じゃ敵がどこにいんだかマジでわからん。あ、これ下行けと。役人アウトローギロ付きリープランマーグレネード避け続けなきゃいけないですかこれ。
Henry Plummer was clearly unhinged, and I could see right away that this was going to take some doing.
めっちゃうまい。おい投げてみろよら。ひっていていて。ヘルプがいるぜ。お前らこういうクソ野郎やっちまえ。マジで見えない。弾がなくなるぜ。これ一般人できた。あくそ。いや食らうだろ。よし。
So that's how Henry Plummer died. Him and his crew were worth their weight in gold. And now, I was officially a bounty hunter.
ここに溜まってないか。次何しようかな。 早打ち中、スプリント中にリロード。ああ、これもいいな。早打ちモード延長いいな。これも欲しいな。欲しいスキルめっちゃある。
So, did you finally go after that Bob feller?
Well, I heard word he was in Kansas with John Wesley Hardin. So that's where I went.
Where in Kansas?
Abilene. Why do you ask, Ben?
No reason.
Was Hardin as fast as Ringo?
Ringo was fast, but John Wesley was as fast as the devil himself.
ジョン・ウェリー・ハーディ。
He killed his first man at 15. From that day forward, he had a price on his head and wouldn't back down for nobody, not even Wild Bill Hickok himself.
ワイルドビル・ヒコック。また新しい名前出てくるせいで分かんなくなる。バウンティーハンティングの賞金を稼ぐことにした。
I dodged death many a time, and that night in Abilene was no different.
うわ、すっげえ連射しやすい。
I was there with the intention of finding that bastard Bob and collecting the bounty on John Wesley.
I thought the Texas Rangers got hard.
Yeah, that's what they want you to believe.
ライフルの方がいいな。お前いいの持ってんじゃん。いいの持ってっけどクイックシューターもいいな。
It was cold in a witch's tit and a brass
いなくなると消えるのに忘れるわ、それ。
past his loyal compadres.
今なんか吸われたんだけど。どこだ。こんな赤の話か。こっちから落とすんな。光ってんのがさ、ちょっとそれっぽく見えんのやめてほしいんだよな。ああ。かまあストーリー 100% を選ぶわけやってるわけでもないし。
Look around and imagine this place painted in blood. Hardin was waiting for me, and wait, I'm jumping the gun here.
フライングだ。俺が少し下がってちょうどやろうが上のあたりオリンを背景をくれてやる。
He deserves that much. Don't you think so, Ben? John Wesley Hardin was a killer. By the end, he confessed to taking the lives of 42 men, fathers and husbands, brothers and sons, men with families who cared about them. He was a bona fide folk hero by then, and had amassed a gang of armed miscreants and other assorted thugs. He and his men set up camp outside of town, and I was hoping Bob was among them.
God damn it! Shoot that son of a bitch!
全部外したわ。
Why I was there. They knew.
くっそ逃げた。
As most of them were wanted as well. I had to spill a lot of blood to find out
quick shooter欲しい。
He was carousing in town with his closest friends.
いない。
Hardin's boys apparently didn't want me to reach the Bull's Head. Some were hightailing it into town to inform their jefe of my unwelcomed presence.
だ、いない。情けない。自分で言ってて。 なんかありそう。6個ぐらいもあるから多分めっちゃあるんだろうな。絶対なんか移動期間短そうなんだけど。
Stop that son of a bitch! Let the boys know we got another law dog.
もうなんかサボテンが喋ってたね今の。
I wondered if Bob was among them.
こっちか。
And I steeled myself for the fight ahead. For as good as I was, deep down I wondered if John Wesley wasn't just a little bit better. Before I could test my mettle against Hardin, however, I would first need to dispatch his cavalry and hired killer. Most of these degenerates were beyond redemption, but John Wesley might have been a different story.
痛い。
I didn't learn until later that that night was in fact his birthday celebration.
赤ピン立ててくれ。わかんねえマジで敵が。あれは無理だ。近づいてきてる。レベル上がった。花火が敵人の銃撃に聞こえる。はい。あ。
I think I already mentioned that I found Hardin in this very saloon.
酒場って言ったよなって。酒場の前にいたとかそういう。あ。は？おっぽいな。あったー。
Suffice it to say, nobody there was happy to see me. In fact, I felt a certain hostility.
座ってる。顔出してみろ。撃つぞ。顔出した瞬間お前らの頭撃つぞ。いいのか。顔出さなくても撃つ。入ったけど。よし。っていうわけでもない。こっち。待って。え？ ああ入れ上がる。てめえこの野郎、どこ行きやがった。マジで見えん。
I was disappointed that neither Bob nor John Wesley were among the dead. But that was short-lived, as a moment later I was facing down the fastest gun in the West.
でこいつが来たと。15歳で最初の殺人。いびきがムカついて殺人。息をしてるだけで40人以上殺害。もうクソ野郎やじゃん。
I felt a bolt of adrenaline. Or maybe that was fear. He was well known for his tricks, and I knew I'd need my own if I was ever to defeat him.
フォーカスができてもスピードが遅すぎる。うわ
No, wait. He didn't hit me then. I'm sure of it.
撃ってないの。勝手に動くんだよな。身をかわす時が。おい。ちょっと。弾丸よりも早く体戻すなよ。ラン姉ちゃんじゃないんだから。
That man was faster than greased lightning. But being inebriated as he was, he didn't count his shots. And now, he was at my mercy.
So he didn't die?
No, I sent him to
これや
prison.
つは全部送ったんだ。でも何年も後に失踪したやつは復讐したかったやつがや
Shot
つを
him in the
殺した。
back of the saloon, just like this one.
こんな感じで酒場で後ろから撃ったんだとさ、どうだいね。ビールもう一杯飲まないか。早打ちの時の
Thank you, darling. Yeah, some
狙
say
いづらい。本
revenge
当
is
に
a。dish best served cold.
So whatever happened to that Bob guy you were after?
Personally, I'd like to hear some of your other adventures. Like, I don't know, do you ever go toe-to-toe with a red man?
グレイフウォル
Yes,
フ
I did.
やばい。グレイ
I
ウルフ。
remember once I was after this renegade Apache, Grey Wolf. Strangely enough, revenge was also his primary motivation.
ネイティブアメリカンみたいな感じか。サイラス・グリーブズはマイク・ウェズリー・ハーディンと同じ危険なアウトローを追っかけていた。もともと
The
するな
bounty
よ。
was put on Grey Wolf's head, and that's how I came to hunt him in the mountains. Mountains so high they tickled the nether regions of heaven.
過去の遥か遠くの山道。
Grey Wolf was a
Yamanaha.
Chiricahua Apache medicine man who had led a war party in revenge for a massacre against his
India.
people. The U.S. Army had attacked his tribe during his
彼
daughter's
はどう
secret
攻撃しその
sunrise
大量虐殺
ceremony.
の装い言いふまない
The
ものが
slaughter
ひどか
was
った。
unspeakable. I understood his anger, as there's nothing
生の
more
冬
traumatic than
襲い
seeing
方をした
those
それ
you
以上に
love
トラウマは
die
ない
a
だろう。
cruel and painful death. Right from the beginning, I couldn't shake the feeling that Grey Wolf was watching my every move. He led a band of young Apache warriors who wanted retribution, and were more than willing to die for him.
槍でもぶん投げてくんのか。動物ぶっ殺したらブチギレられそうなんか。
They saw me before I saw them.
おお、想像以上に普通に撃ってきやがった。
And it crossed my mind that maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But now that the shooting had started, there was no backing down.
かだぜ。はい。で。
It was rugged country, the winter home of the Chiricahuas. And that's why they had
あ、これはい、
retreated
紅葉だった。葉っぱでした。赤い。
I admit to having some regrets about going after them the way I did. But then again, I got a lot of those.
主人公とんでもないキル数だな。うえい。あぶねえ。ほんとマジでなんか後ろ向いちゃうんだよね。後ろから撃たれてる感覚になるんだよね。どこ？そっちか。
Not at that moment.
しょうがないのやつはその入り口を見つけ。あれ。もうちょいでレベルアップする。トゥントゥントゥルルーン。あはは。もう電動ドリルみたいな。
Don't tell me you went in there.
どういう世界で。
勝
手にぐるぐる回る。弾あと18発か。
See, back then,
ウ
I
ィン
had a
チェスター
southern
ないんすか
streak
ね。
a mile wide, and I wasn't about to back down.
So it was like pitch black in there?
Actually, it was pretty well lit, as they had torches on the walls.
とウィンチェスターだ。ウィンチェスターなのかすらも分かんないけど。開拓劇のこういう時代の銃あんまり分かんねえんだよな。 ったぜ。あ、繋がってたか。なんか置いてありそうな感じしたけど何も置いてなかった。
How big was his cave?
Big as hell, man. Chiricahua had hid out there during the Indian Wars.
ダメでした。腕力全然足んなかった。1がマジで武器切り替えホイールでできない。なんかしねえな自分。
They thought it was haunted with the ghosts of those murdered by the horse soldiers.
The cave was haunted with dead Indian ghosts?
To be honest, I was more concerned with the live
まぐれで押
ones
してた
than
ら
the
反応した。ああ間違えた。くそ。DAS っつったら W の W で来るかと思ったら S だった。危な。あいつずるいさ。あいつ今から銃撃ってきてんじゃん。
How come you know so much about Asians?
A few years back, I was married to two Mescalero women.
At the same time?
Yeah, they were sisters. Polygyny is traditional among the Mescalero.
So what happened?
Oh, I had to get out of there. Those girls never shut up. Both of them nagging at me all the time. Drove me half crazy. Haven't seen them since.
No, I mean, what happened with Grey Wolf?
Oh, well, I pursued him into the Cave of Death.
I
came upon this flooded grotto, and that's when I saw him. He came to me unarmed and unafraid. His voice echoed in the shadows, and I sensed he meant me no harm.
You carry great darkness in your heart, and if you do not release it, it will claim your soul.
The sound of his voice put some kind of ancient Indian spell on me. As his story unfolded in my mind.
You will come to this place again and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything that you are. The soul would have no rainbow if I have no tears.
He said I was a great warrior, a coyote, unequaled by any other pale-faced warrior, or something like that.
The snakes will bite shadows of your past until a venom poisons your heart, and an echo of the song of the dead summons the spirits deep from within the mountains.
I didn't quite get what he was saying, but there was definitely snakes. And indeed, his warriors surrounded me and attacked me like hungry wolverines. They couldn't stop me, though. And Grey Wolf wasn't in the mood for idle talk.
ああいっぱいいる。
I swear I couldn't see any way out of this trap. But suddenly, one just appeared. Kind of like a miracle.
何それ。あ、弾100発ある。いいね。
I I felt like I would be lost in that damn cave forever.
心置きなく飽きんぼできるわ。
Finally, I found myself back outside, perched on the edge of a precipice, overlooking a thundering whitewater river. To get where I was going required several leaps of faith, but no way in hell I was turning back. I chased after him, determined to make him explain the meaning of all that mumbo jumbo.
Mumbo jumbo is right. Are you making this all up as you go?
A few details may be fuzzy, brother, but I am relating exactly what happened to me.
What?
There were dozens of Apache warriors aiming at me from on high.
Dozens?
Well, maybe not dozens, but there was a lot of them.
At least 3 or 4.
Well, more than that.
明らかにサイトから弾出てるよね。銃口じゃなくて。CG とかそういうの特有の。てかこれ UBI が作ってるからこんな感じになるのは。うい。
Creek ahead of me and scrambled up those rocks like a mountain goat. I was
敵が落ちてくる感じがすごいリアル。
and find out exactly what the hell he was trying to tell me.
ちゃんとリロードして。
And wouldn't you know it, that crafty son of a bitch led me right into a trap.
What kind of trap?
Well, son, there had to be at least 100 Apaches surrounding me.
100?
God be my witness.
Oh, come on. Who are you kidding?
Hey, I believe you. Come on, tell us how it ended.
All right, but I'm not gonna drag this out. Where were we?
You were surrounded by 100 Apache warriors.
Well, I didn't take the time to count them exactly,
いっ
but
ぱい
there
来
were
ん
a
の
lot
が。
of them.
いやもうマジで音バグってんのやめてくれ。イヤホン逆だ。それよくわかんなくなるわ。うわ普通に撃ってきやがったこいつ次。
And in the end, a path appeared before me that I had not seen before. I followed it as I desperately needed to find out what Grey Wolf was trying to tell me.
危ねえ、なんかふと後ろ振り返ってよかった。早打ちモード中。ああ、けどこっちの方がいいな。ライフル用のキャパアップも欲しいな。
But it was like that son of a bitch disappeared into thin air.
いいな。狼になれるとか動物になりてえよ。
Never did find him. And never did collect my goddamn bounty. Thank you, darling. It's interesting how the truth can sometimes seem might malleable, depending upon your point of view.
Like how those dime novels make you out to be something you're not?
Jack, don't be starting trouble.
No, he's right. They do tend to exaggerate.
Did they exaggerate your part in taking down the Daltons?
Well, I was there in the flesh, boy, so I saw what happened firsthand.
ダルトンブラザーズって書いてあって今。
Those Daltons were lawmen once before they all went bad.
こうなってからテリトリーを越えて銀行強盗やね。
Until Coffeeville, of course. I was one of the citizens who took up arms that day.
Fighting on the side of right.
I did my best, sir. We all did.
グレイウルフはアパッチの祈祷師でサイラスに苦しみ憎しみの毒でのたうち回ってはいけないとミステリアスな警告を忠告した。
It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob two banks at the same time. Two banks on the same damn street.
浜入れといてよ。
Story was Bob Dalton's girl was always riding him about how he had no ambition. Oh, you're nobody next to Jesse James, she'd say. Finally, the bastard took his brothers to Coffeeville
味方の
just to shut her up.
弾が
Fine. It's
威
all
力な
the
くね。
woman's fault.
Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off. Before they could get away, half the town took up arms.
このゲームでも金網は敵になるから許さんぞマジで。刻印入りとちょっと待って。刻印入りがリコイルと射程が伸びんのか。で、装飾入り。標準スピードとレート。刻印入りでいいかな。なんか、香り式のなんかあれみたいな感じ。壁の向こうか。なんでお前当たらんのよ。
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently. First of all, it was high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months.
Right.
Now they finally had them dead to rights. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. We just gotta wait the son of a bitches.
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers
な
were
んか
far too
足場
proud
が
to
な
ever lay down their guns.
なんか2人で同じところに出るのあんまよろしくねえよろしくねえけどこっちに何も狙いねえよ。ちゃんと当たり判定あるわ。
alone to confront those criminals.
行く
The
ぞ。
marshal shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That right was mine.
He paid him no mind. He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank. Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting. From above. Fortunately,
Yeah, I
a
knew-
water
okay.
tower was right there. A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did.
まあけど見てる映像とほとんどまあ多少それ
Brave
は
men like him
ス
who
トーリー
risked
のあ
their
れある
lives
け
to
ど。
tame this wild country.
数人間撃ってる。
We've got company.
Heroic men like him, who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't
Sort
to make
of.
this country free. Like Jim Booth,
Is that
Davy
Silas
Crockett,
Greaves?
John
Son of
F.
a
Kennedy.
bitch!
汚い言葉を使うんじゃない。
Brother, I'm gonna make you pay for that.
で、
Yeah, you know you can't beat me.
なんかまぐれでなんかダメじゃん。よし。金欲しい。ああ、違かった。
Over there!
ああ。そう。毎回これでやられる。
Silas Greaves! What the hell?
Blam! Blam! He came away victorious, taking down those thieving Daltons. His name
ちゃんと当たった次は。
Silas Greaves. And when the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened.
当たって。どれが本当なんだよ。
It was early evening, not high noon. The Daltons blew up a safe, and were all set to hightail it out of there. I was late to the party, and Coffeeville was already up in arms. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies.
保安か。リーダーイケメン負け犬。
I'd been tracking those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something reckless.
てふざけんなよ。
Finally, they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob two banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them. But they still had friends in Coffeeville. What are you gonna do? Can you shoot around corners?
どこ？こっちか。待てこらガキ。ああもう最悪。頭では理解してるのに体が反応しない。
I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose them. The problem was, they knew the town better than I did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout entirely.
Did the Daltons hole up in somebody's house?
当たんないんだ
Oh,
よ。
it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons. And they were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons. Which wasn't any surprise, because those two families have been feuding forever. And since the Joneses are
と
related
遠
to
距
the
離になると
Browns,
途端に
they
当たんな
shot
くな
at
る
the Smiths, pissing off
遠距離っていうか中距離になると当たりづらくなる。
married a Smith.
あ、金棒。
Well, bullets were flying every which way as all the old feuds in Kansas caught fire all at once. There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeeville that day. But that's just the way life is sometimes. Shit happens.
2階じゃない、ここだ。なんかないの？なかったわ、なんも。あとあれなんだよね、何もいない敵のところでQで蹴ると発動しないのは優しいが、無駄打ちになんなくて。
The Dalton boys knew I would never give up. Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together.
Oh, sure.
They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least two of them to escape. The third brother stayed behind to plant me, just in case that trap of theirs didn't work.
動けなかった、ビビりすぎて。こっちか。
It was Emmett, the youngest, and he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
I ain't afraid of you, Silas Reed. This is where it ends for you.
He was determined to protect his brothers. I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long life.
ああ、痛い。すげえな。ショットガン避けるってまあまあだ。あ、ちょっと撃たないで。ああ。はいはいはいはい。来い。
But Emmett Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeyville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him?
23回も撃ってたのか。
But I have to admit,
ああ、今回
that
3
boy
つになっ
had
た。
grit.
やがてサイラス・グリーブスは有名なバウンティーハンターとなった。彼らの一番の野望はあの憎きボブ・ブライアントを倒すことだけだったのだが。
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
しばらくして。
Get away with this! And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
We'll track him to the ends of the earth.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws.
そしたら裏切
As
んじゃ
we
ねえ
headed
の
into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
あほ。食い入りのこれ、なんか、あれだね。
It was early fall.
弾丸
right?
廃墟する、空薬機を廃墟するやつなんか、すごい形になってる。
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell.
うわぁ。
It was tough to stay on a true course.
羽音が聞こえた。
So we kept an eye out for landmarks.
ああ、いやねねね。ああ、きつすぎ
It
る。
was autumn. The maple trees were in full color, red as blood. The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
あれを目印にしろってことか。
Bury them in the swamp. Plant them where they stand. Except for some bitches ahead of me wanting to do me harm, so I had to face them alone. I wondered why my compatriots didn't come running when they heard the shots.
明快。で、どこ行けばいいの？
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends.
見えるか、あんなん。あんなん AI が強いの当たり前じゃん。ほぼ壁抜きみたいなことしてくるんだから。
The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause.
今冷静だったのすごい。ああああつってえげつないなんか腹だ。ショットガンナー体力あんのがめんどくせえなそれ。誰もいなかったって今言ってるけど裏切られたんじゃないですかねこれ完全に。さあ当たらん。
Luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view, but just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running for the bushes. Of course, I followed them. But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was. Steve?
誰か寝てるわ。
So I just started walking, and pretty soon Steve? Steve?
Huh? Oh, no, I'm
これなんかどっから聞こえてる声ってあれ敵もそうだけどこの主人公の語ってる聞いてるやつなのか。
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp?
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
No, I'm listening. I was just.
こんななんかあるやろと思ったら弾だけでした。
So, where was I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
めっちゃ手振ってる。
Bounty hunters! Stop that son of a bitch!
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet, but I did find a few of their cousins. You Kansans breed like rabbits. More Smiths or Heimhoffers or who knows what. But hell, what's more important than family?
悪党をやっつけろ。
Ben knows what I'm talking about. 血のように湧いて出てくるんだこいつ。見えねえよそれ。うわいると思ったら死んでる。痛えぜ。
ああ、びっくりした。体が半分ない。うん、そんな語話表現あるんだと思ったら違った。マントだった、ただ。痛い。足ぐねるのが一番痛い。冷血王と。だーいてー。うい。またここ。
Those dog boys were out there somewhere, standing together against anyone who would threaten them.
ああ、ほんとやめてほしい、ハオと。
And that's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps?
Guess it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board. It was in that a fusillade of bullets come raining down on us. And those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found. But among those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
意外と避けるやつは見てから余裕なのがありがたい。
Somewhere up there, the Daltons were waiting on me.
またあんの？中かな、この感じは。トゥントゥントゥルルン。ショットガンあんま使わないんだよな。早打ちリロード不要。うわ、これ欲しいな。これも欲しいな。まずここをやるか。
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am.
ショットガンなんか。
I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
あったー。いけいけいけいけいけ。いいな。 あ、やばい。肺に風穴開いたわ。あれ、ちょっと、ああ、よかった。スタックしたかと思った。サイドボタンに両動を変えたいんだけど、R ボタン連打がきつすぎる、リロードに。味方だった。
Much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit. But it turned out that they had me.
I'm sending you to hell!
The Daltons had played me like a fiddle.
Ah, more
the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Oh, yeah, but I was in a fight.
Ship that's gonna launch next year, largest one in the world.
You're talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed big. I don't think it'll even float.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say.
ほんと読んでる暇で。
oh God.
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Breeze?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to
俺は死ねばバカども。
disembark. It was time to settle this once and for all.
オーバーヒートしないのこいつは。すげえオーバーヒートしねえんだけど。はいはいはいはいはいはいはいはいはいはいはいはい痛いです。
Bob and Grat weren't about to come at me one at a time. They were in this together. Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
これ2人狙わなきゃいけんパターンか。はいや
They got it wrong. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later, he moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day. And the tragic death of his two brothers. My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told.
エピソード何ぐらいなんだろう。
It
もう
was
すぐ終わっちゃうのかな。
1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy." Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me, until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch.
ブッチ・キャシディとサンダス・キッドによって統一されたワイルドバンチは西部でも最後となるアウトロギャングだった。
I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains. Led by Butch Cassidy, they were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid, and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant.
Were you a part of that giant Pinkerton posse after the Wild Bunch?
No, boy. A circus like that would have slowed me down. Besides, I wanted Bryant all to myself. I heard about a large shipment of gold being transported to Wilcox, Wyoming on the Overland Flyer. I figured the Wild Bunch would likely hit such a treasure, and by God, I figured right. They blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop.
なぜこれに乗ろうとするの？
The Wild Bunch was likely in the still intact part of the train high above. I was determined to make that sumbitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
崩れますって言ってるようなもんだよな、途中で。
I found the device they used to blow the tracks, so I knew I was headed in the right direction.
My ears are still ringing from blowing up that.
Well, I made my way off unscathed and came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to
クイックシュ
dispatch
ーターは
them.
リロードも早いんだな。
From there, I had to negotiate an even more precarious route. But first, I would need to get my ass out of there.
中はあ何あげよっかな。ライフルリロードでもあげとこうか。どれだけ早いかわかんねえな。アンチャーテッドみたいな。
Jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall.
あ、崩れてる気がする。
But in order to find old
いや、まあいいや、
Bob,
ク
I
イックシュ
needed
ー
to
ター。
fight my way forward past a whole passel of desperados. Outside, inside, anywhere I could, I made my way towards my prey.
Well, what about the passengers?
It was mostly a freight train, as I recall.
邪魔なんだ
There
よ
were no
ね。
passengers aboard that day. As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights. But I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to my death. Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway. So I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could.
ちんちん使えなくなるようにしてやったぜあいつ。あ、こっちか。
Times it was like shooting ducks in a shooting gallery.
シュットガンダ 2発必要これまさか。
Duck shot back.
ああ、乗りたくねえこんなが絶対崩れんだろ。あれ、あ、あばばば、あ、そっちか。
I kept hoping the law would show up and give me a
You
hand.
mean like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about? Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
わあ、ジョール・フーズ、 TGF カー、ティム・ヘイ、サンダース・キッド、ブッチャー・キャリージー、キッド・カーリー、LG レイ。
Help? From the Pinkertons? No, son. I had to fight the wild bunch all by my lonesome, as usual.
Who the hell is that?
三輪さん、
Retreat! Retreat! He's killing everybody!
で、真実がいつもどっかに一つある。長っぽいなこれ。あった。
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened, did they? Only a few stragglers were left. I had to cut them down pronto if I was going to stay on old Bob's trail.
はいはいはい。経験値が美味しいでござるよ。はい。いて、めっちゃおる。
Once I silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis, determined to finally have my justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George Flat-Nosed Curry.
Who was he?
The fastest gun in the gang. Right after Sundance, I mean. And Kid Curry, and maybe Elsie Lay. Though some folks might dispute that. On that very same day, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid decided to leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamped for South America. They ended up living down there for many years, but I'm sure you already know all about that.
ジョージ花べちゃカーリーになってる。早打ち集中。グレネードあんまり使わねえんだよな。 このミッションで終わるか次。
I tried to find Bob Bryant, but it was as if he'd disappeared. Sometime later, I heard the Wild Bunch was back together. Kid Curry escaped from jail, and now he was running the whole shebang. So I took to their trail, as I was still in pursuit of my brother's killer and hoped that he was back with him.
おー、ウルフドッグとか飼ってみてえな。わあ、クソでかくて大変そうだけどめっちゃ可愛いよ。
Anyways, I tracked those boys to a camp right outside Parachute, Colorado.
Someone's coming.
なぜバレた？
Being outnumbered, I didn't bother with a warning shot. I just started taking those bastards down.
うわー、タワー飛んできた。
Old Bob wasn't among them, and neither was Kid Curry. I could sense him close by, however, plotting something nasty. I just needed a clue as to their whereabouts.
こっちよりもこっちの方がいいのかな。明らかに早いもんなこっち。よく弱い代わりにめっちゃ強武器。
And I found one. A map with their bold plan clearly marked. This time they were fixing to blow up a train trestle. Property of the Union Pacific. The plan clearly indicated how they were fixing to undermine several of the weakest wooden supports.
Ah, ここら辺連射したらなんか吹っ飛びそう全部。
Kid Curry was considered the wildest of the Wild Bunch. It was said that he fathered 85 bastard children, though some say it was only 5. Kid Curry had bragged to a whore how he was going to rob a train heading to the U.S. Mint in Denver. And that whore, Fat Sally, she told me. The bridge was rigged with dynamite, so I decided I'd best be careful confronting those bastards. A moment later, I saw a ladder that somehow had escaped my attention.
デーナマイト手に入ったわ。
Blow us up now.
Don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
But the Wild Bunch did not take kindly to my presence and attempted to blow my head off. It appeared the kid had found a number of new recruits to bolster their ranks. Yes, there's always desperate men willing to trade their lives for stolen treasure.
やべえもん置くなよ。
What happened next?
Well, having removed the first bundle of dynamite, I decided I might as well remove the other one. Once that was
明らか
done,
に下
I
で
figured I'd find my way from there.
抜けないんでたまに。で。はい。船。そんなダイナマイトの補充できなくてもな。 買ったなんだお前。
So what happened then?
Had to remove more of that damn dynamite.
It must have been terrifying trying to make it across.
I was sweating it a bit, but then I noticed the
そんなめち
footbridge
ゃくちゃ
tied
な
up on
一
high,
本橋って。
so I shot the rope.
本当に怖えよ。いいね。
So that was all the
いいね。
dynamite.
BGM が
Funny you should mention that, darling.
すげえい
Actually,
い
there
感じ。
was a fourth charge impeding my progress. Once I removed it, my path
ザ・
was
西
pretty
部劇
clear.
って感じの曲がして聴いてて楽しいよ。 ちょっとなんかああ痛い。おっと、こっちから落とす。
So I proceeded onward. I realized that that way just wasn't going to work. I needed an alternate
ソードオ
path
フライフル
forward.
そこにある。およし。狭っ。ちゃうやん
Of
け。
course, I had to tread carefully. Otherwise, I could, well, die.
明らかにこっから乗れますみたいな見た目してたやろ。え、そっから行くの？嘘。戻ってくるだけか。これに乗れというの？あ、絶対ちげえわ。
Understand how badly my adventure might have ended had I not been as careful as hell.
シンプルにこう行けばよかったのか。
Luckily, I found a cave, and as I made my way back to the bridge, I saw something that concerned me. There was a long burning fuse, and it was moving fast as hell. I had to catch it.
これひでえよ。
Reaching any time would have been unfortunate.
クソ登りずれんだけどなんか。
The burning fuse was so damn quick, I had to run like the wind. I almost had it, but no. Thought I was gonna have a coronary when I lost sight of those sparks. My heart was pounding like a sledgehammer. I knew that failure meant boom. Then,
明らかにさっきよりも長くない？
Of course, I was successful, or clearly I wouldn't be talking to you folks here today. Naturally, I removed the last dynamite charge.
Well, it was a touching reunion.
But by this time, I was thoroughly exhausted and dragging my ass, as I was not a young man anymore.
ちんなんかあるとか。あ、ダメでした。これ許してはくれませんよって。はいはいはいはいはいはい。やり直していって。思いのほかグレネードがわからん。
Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Kid Curry opened up on me with a goddamn Gatling gun. It was hidden in this tunnel.
ちょっとグッと最悪すぎる。すいません。降りなきゃいけないのこれ。だ。
Luckily, I had located some dynamite. I still, however, had my work cut out for me.
.めんどくせえのがいる。いやもうお前強すぎるそれは。よし。一回打ちやめるってことができないのかなこいつ。やばい声がするんだけど。おおめっちゃズームする。そう割と出てきたんだけどグレネード。はいはいはいはい。
Eventually, I brought that tunnel down. And that's when I met Kid Curry himself. He had decided to stop pussyfooting around and deal with me personally.
やるか。
Fast as he was, I was just a bit faster.
反応速度
As
お
he
じいちゃん
lay
だけど。
wounded, I demanded to know the whereabouts of Roscoe Bob Bryant. He shouted at me, "Is that what this is about? Bob went with Butch
頭打
and
ったと思ったん
Sundance
だ
to
けど
South
な。
America. You ain't never finding him."
はい。驚きやがれ。
Those were his last words.
命中率低っ。あともうちょいだね。
So, Bob Bryant got away?
I knew I'd never find him in South America.
What about the other killer?
Yeah, you kind of glossed over that one.
Well, I found Jim not long after my showdown with Ringo. At the time, he was riding with the James Younger gang. Did I neglect to mention that?
ジェシー・ジェームズ。
Jesse James? The greatest outlaw who ever lived?
Jesse and his kin rode with Quantrill when he raided Lawrence, Kansas, and killed near 200 people, boy.
Ah, nothing great about that.
And from there, him and his brother went on to rob banks and trains from Kansas to Missouri.
Which is why there was such a rich bounty on their heads. 40 grand for both of them, dead or alive. That's one hell of a payday.
えげつねえな。死神は鋼の種馬に乗る。
I confronted them as they were robbing a train.
終わらしてくれ。
Bullets were flying at me from every which way. But I knew I'd have to fight my way forward if I was gonna find this Jim.
じゃあまあ今回はこれまでということでお疲れ様でした。次回この先を。じゃあお疲れ様です。